Hey everybody, my name is Ethan Ostroff, and today we have a really important video about how to calculate your personal injury settlement. This is the analysis that lawyers go through. It is not a cookie cutter solution. There is no computer where I put in a set of facts and it spits out a number, but I will try my best for you guys. So before I get into that, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Follow along where I will protect your future personal injury case with my content. I'm going to make sure you're not behind the eight ball and you do not let insurance companies push you around. So, how to calculate a personal injury settlement? It is the most commonly asked question that I get. What is my case worth? How much am I going to get out of this? It is not a cookie cutter solution. I want to make that really clear. So what I'm going to give you is the analysis as to how a jury should come up with a settlement and a number that is fair for that person going through a specific set of circumstances. And then you can determine exactly how to calculate your settlement. So I'm going to give you the list of the things that should come into play when you are coming up with this calculation. The first thing that comes into play is simply all outstanding medical bills, liens, and out-of-pocket costs related to the thing that you are going through. For example, if you got rear-ended in a car accident and you broke your arm, how much do those bills cost? How much was that ambulance? How much was your physical therapy in terms of a dollar amount? How much were you billed? Then second, there are things called liens. A lien is where somebody pays for those bills but then asks for that money back later. For example, you got hurt on the job. Your workers' compensation may pay for that treatment while you need it, so you don't have to deal with the actual bills, but they want to get paid back at the end of the case. So that's what's called a lien. So in terms of a number here, as a part of your analysis, part one, medical bills, how much are those worth? Two, liens, how much do those cost? And then three, out-of-pocket costs. Did you have to spend $40 every week for that Vicodin that you needed to take care of the pain? Did you need to spend $70 every time just to drive to physical therapy? Did you need to get an Uber because you don't have a license? Out-of-pocket costs are part of this analysis. Second, did you actually lose income? Now, sometimes you can get a dollar-for-dollar payment from your insurance company for something called wage loss. But in terms of how to calculate your personal injury settlement, there is an actual analysis of the loss of potential or actual income that you have. Let's say, for example, you're an engineer and you're making $100,000 a year and you were out of work for a year. That's $100,000 loss of income. Now let's take another situation. Let's say that you were out of work for the next 30 years and your projected income is going to go up by 10% every year. You would hire an economic expert to testify for you at trial to say, not only did he lose this much money, but in the future, they're going to lose that much money. Let's say that your future projected income is $5 million. I'm just making this up. You can actually claim both actual income and future projected income. Another piece of this. What is the loss of life's enjoyment? Now, that is a complicated answer, and there isn't really a dollar figure for it. But put yourself in the plaintiff's shoes. How much would you pay to be able to continue to go for that bike ride 3 times a week? How much would you pay to continue to go for a run 4 times a week? Let's say that that plaintiff couldn't go for a bike ride or for a run for 18 months. What would that be worth to you? How much would you spend? Would you spend $50 every bike ride? Would you spend $500 every bike ride? I don't know. It depends on how passionate you are about the things you love. If you can't do the things you love, there is a dollar figure that could be paid to a person who can't do the things they love anymore. Next, pain and suffering. What is the actual pain and suffering that that person went through from getting hurt? Now, I'm going to give you sort of a gloomy example. Pain and suffering in a death case might not be that much. Why? Let's say that you died instantly on impact. You didn't really suffer from that, but let's say that you got hit and now you're a quadriplegic. You can't ever walk again. Can't even move your arms potentially. Now, that might be painful every single time that you try to move any part of your body. You have some pain, some suffering. And of course, there's loss of life enjoyment. You can't do anything that you love anymore. So that's why they kind of play off each other. How much pain and suffering, literal pain, are you going through? And what is that dollar figure for? Next, let's say that you have a spouse. Your spouse instead of having to pick the kids up, every other day, now they have to pick it up every day. Let's say that, again, let's take a sad example of, let's say you're a paraplegic now, and your spouse now has to literally pick you up and put you into bed every day. How many things are they now doing that they didn't have to do as a result of your injuries? That also can be quantified as a part of the pain and suffering and a part of the settlement. Next, this doesn't always happen, but sometimes you need to punish the defendant for what they did. Let's say that they were DUI, and this was their 5th DUI, and they struck your car, and now you can't walk again. Is there a punitive damage that is justified on this case? All these things sort of intertwine with each other, and together you come up with that calculation for a personal injury settlement. I know I didn't give you an actual answer, because guess what? There is no perfect answer. There is no machine that you put a set of facts in and injuries and it spits out a dollar figure. It just doesn't exist. Really, what your case is worth is what risk you're willing to take that case all the way to trial if it's not being valued properly by an insurance company. Or let's say an insurance company offers you something reasonable. Are you willing to take something just to sort of have a dollar amount that you are okay with? Now, this is not an easy answer, but sometimes cases are worth more than you expect, and sometimes they're worth less, because the truth is, I don't know anything, the jury knows everything, and if the jury says a case is worth something, that's what it's worth. So hopefully you never need to hire me, but if you do, my information's below. You can get in touch with me as soon as you can. As soon as you click the dial, either myself or a member of my team will hop on the phone with you immediately. If you ever have any questions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow along where your future personal injury case will be protected. Thanks so much.